I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we'll continue on with today's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availability. And we are joined by none other than Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 78 Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats Toyota for Furniture Row Racing. And Martin, very successful this year on mile-and-a-half tracks, coming in off of a great run at Martinsville. How confident are you in that 78 car this weekend here at Texas?
Definitely confidence is high. I feel good about it. Mile and a half is, obviously they've been good for us this year, but honestly, I feel like everywhere we go this year right now, especially we can run up front, have a shot at winning. So last weekend was a big race for us, and being able to come here with a pretty nice points cushion feels good, and hopefully we'll be able to go out here and take care of business.
Okay, let's open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We will start with Wolfgang and work our way around.
Yeah, Martin, Wolfgang Monzer from Germany Rennsport Press Agency. A technical question. From the very first beginning in Daytona until today, is there any special or important development on the car, aero-wise or engine-wise?
I think throughout the year it's all bits and pieces, trying to constantly, make your stuff better. So I would say across the board, I think everybody's on that same plan. You're always trying to find little things here and there. I think our guys have done a good job of continuing to step it up, even when we were performing well and winning races. So yeah, that's a huge effort. A lot goes into, and I feel like our entire group has done a really nice job with it.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Martin, how do you guys kind of manage not looking too far ahead with all the success, with the bonus points you have, and obviously Homestead being that, key track? How do you kind of keep things chill so you guys are this week, as opposed to looking ahead?
Yeah, I think we've kind of just learned how to do that the past few years, really. Especially last year, you always look back at that one as a reminder of, at any time it could slip away. So just try not to worry. 2 weeks ahead of time doesn't really matter right now. And of course, we are getting our Homestead car ready to go. But aside from that, at the racetrack, worrying about things out of your control, it really doesn't do you any good. I think right now when we go to the racetrack, we really focus in on what do we got to do to run up front on Sunday? What do we got to do to qualify good today? That's kind of our mindset. So I feel like we've done a good job of that, and that's just again, we came from 2014 being nobodies, and we've learned along the way, I think, how to control ourselves and our thought process and how to get the most out of each other and ourselves as a group. So it's definitely taken some practice.
Go next to Lewis and then to George.
Louis Frank of Reuters. To follow up on Holly's question, how do you keep the intensity up somewhere between? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is it like calm or psychotic crazy? How do you keep this playing level the way you do every week?
For me personally, behind the wheel, I think I just do my normal deal. I know playoff races are a big deal, and there's a lot on the line. But if you try to be someone different than you've been all year, or try to do something different than you normally do, you get yourself in trouble. So I feel like throughout the season, I feel like I've put myself in a spot where I can get everything out of the car, put it right on the limit, but it's my comfortable limit. Doesn't mean it's somebody else's. So I think you just try to stay in your comfort zone. You try to do the things you can handle and are good at. Take advantage of your strengths. And for us, honestly, I haven't done anything different at all since the playoffs started, and I think that's the reason why we've been successful.
George?
Yeah, right here. George Diaz, Orlando Sentinel. You alluded to, kind of the fact that you were nobodies, but obviously you're somebody now. Can you just talk about your perspective and the evolution of your success? And it seems to come, I wouldn't want to say naturally, but you've obviously had success. And how do you kind of put all that in perspective with coming into the playoffs? As opposed to last season, what differences kind of do you sense?
Well, I'm not really sure how to answer that. I had a lot of success throughout my career. Had a lot of success with the Xfinity championships right off the bat, and then in Cup right away, it went fairly well, and then just kind of went through some bad spots for a lot of different reasons. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate the position we're in a lot more now, I think, than I would have if I didn't go through those bad years or have a part of my career where I wasn't sure what I was going to do or if I'd ever get a chance to run up front and have a chance to win races again. So I definitely think I have that appreciation for what we're doing now a little bit more than maybe some other guys would. And I think it helps keep you focused on where you want to get to because it's possible. So I think for us, I don't know, we don't really think too much about what we're doing. We don't think a whole lot or talk a whole lot about it, the success and the wins. We enjoy them when we get them, and then we move on to the next one and try to get some more. And there will come a time, hopefully someday, we can all reflect back on what we've done, and hopefully there will be a lot more to celebrate. But for now, just trying to stay focused and enjoy ourselves along the way, I think is the most critical thing.
Do we have additional questions for Martin? Well, Martin,
thanks, guys.
Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll continue today's media availability here at Texas Motor Speedway. And we're excited. We're here to welcome a new company and a new sponsor to the sport in Mid-America Mortgage, and it's Click and Close brand. Click and Close will serve as the official mortgage provider of NASCAR and also be a sponsor of Darrell Wallace Jr.'s number 43 car with Richard Petty Motorsports starting in 2018. Here to talk about it today, we have some special guests, including Darrell Wallace Jr., driver of the famous 43 starting in 2018. The King, Richard Petty, who doesn't necessarily need an introduction, nor a nameplate for that matter. Steve Phelps, Executive Vice President and Global Sales and Marketing Officer of NASCAR. And also Jeff Bodie, owner and CEO of Mid-America Mortgage. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions after we ask a few of our guests here, so I ask you to get those formulated in your mind. Let's go ahead and start with Jeff. First of all, welcome. And would like to know from you why NASCAR and Richard Petty Motorsports was such an attractive platform for your Click and Close brand in getting involved with the sport.
Well, it was natural to us. I mean, Mid-America Mortgage is all about speed, efficiency, and safety, getting things done in a rapid, efficient process. And as we watch NASCAR, that's what it's about as well, and Richard Petty Motorsports. We're excited to be working with Bubba Wallace, a new and up-and-coming driver. I'm proud of the diversification that our company's had in the past. We are the nation's largest Native American lender, and we really have diversity is what Mid-America is about. Our Click and Close platform that we're rolling out is a application process for mortgage banking that gets the application and gathers the documentation in 8 minutes from the consumer. So we think that's revolutionary and a lot faster than anything that's been done before to kind of speak to the efficiency that NASCAR has. We also have a digital closing process, the e-close process, where the borrower can close their transaction in 15 minutes. So that speaks to the efficiency as well. The heritage of Mid-America Mortgage, we started our operations back in 1940 at about the same time NASCAR and Richard Petty Motorsports did as well. And we've been striving to improve since then.
Very good. That sounds exciting, especially anyone who's gone through the mortgage process. Those are pretty attractive numbers for how long it should or should not take in that case. The King certainly have a history of working with some iconic brands. I think you've got a mic hooked to your shirt there. But what's it mean for you to have a new brand in 2018? I think we can hear you. There, you're good. You don't even need a mic. Look at that. You're the king. You don't need a mic. But what's it mean to be working with Mid-America Mortgage and that Click and Close brand?
Now we just looked at Click and Close, a perfect situation for us with a new driver, a young driver. You got so many new people coming into the market, young people wanting to buy homes and stuff. So this was a perfect situation for us. I think it's a perfect situation for them to be able to draw to the younger generation. And, I'm drawing to the older generation. We got somebody to draw to the younger generation now. So we just feel like it's a perfect fit for us. It's a perfect fit for NASCAR because NASCAR covers the whole spectrum of people. So with our new leader here, then we expect to be leading in what we do and helping all these guys out too.
Very nice. Bubba, a new partner in the sport. I know talking to you earlier, you can't wait for the 2018 Daytona 500. We have a couple more races to get through, but it'll be here before we know it. How excited are you to have a new partner in the sport, and especially looking forward to 2018?
Yeah, I wish, like I said earlier, I wish it was this weekend, 500. I'm excited to run my first 500, and I think most of you guys know in here that the 43 and Richard Petty has done great things and has great numbers around the Daytona 500. So not much of a better way to introduce Click and Close to NASCAR, but not only the sport, but to everybody in here and everybody that's watching on TV to learn more about their program. And I remember going through. I just bought my house back in 2015, and kind of like getting ready for race season. I was so ready to get in. I actually bought myself a birthday present, which crazy times now. I bought a house on my birthday. Usually I should get something for my birthday from somebody else, but I remember going through that process of it was about 45 minutes of paperwork, and it was about 3 stacks of it about this high. And so this is great. So the next time I want to buy a house, I already got the partner on board. So we're good.
Very nice. And Steve, always fun when we have new brands come into our sport. Why is NASCAR still the platform that works for these brands?
Well, I think NASCAR works for these brands, and we're really thrilled to have Mid-American Mortgage and Click and Close, Jeff and Wayne and the crew on board, both as an official partner, and it's great to have them on the iconic 43 and with Bubba. So couldn't be more pleased about that. Listen, NASCAR is still the best place for brands to connect with our fans, and no sport does it better than NASCAR. Our fans support the brands that support the drivers and the sport that they love, and we see that time and time again. So great to have a new organization into the sport and understand the importance of that connection with our fan base.
Very nice. Let's go ahead and open it up for questions. We have some mic runners. I'd ask that if you would name your state your name and affiliation. Let's start with Wolfgang, and right next to Wolfgang to Lee after that. Shocker. Go ahead, Wolfgang.
2 questions for Mr. Bodie.
Bodie,
yes, thank you. Number 1, did you have, or your company, a previous involvement in motor racing before you joined NASCAR and Richard Petty Motorsport? And how came you in touch with Mr. Petty or with the team?
Mid-American Mortgage, this is our first entry into sports with Mid-American Mortgage, and we're excited to be there. How we came in touch with the Petty Motorsports, we looked at them and we kind of looked across NASCAR as an opportunity to be in business. And as I said, it kind of fit in with what we're about, speed and efficiency. You go to the track and it's just amazing how efficient those pit crews are. And it kind of fit into the narrative of what Mid-America is about.
Let's go to Lee and then Bob.
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com, and I'm from Missouri, if you're wanting to know about my state. Anyway, Jeff, how did you decide on the 3 races? I mean, obviously, the Daytona 500 is iconic, and, Texas is your home track. I guess Phoenix with, as sprawling kind of community that area has. But how did, what was your approach to this?
Well, obviously, Daytona it's the Super Bowl of NASCAR. I mean, that's what it's about. And the Texas Motor Speedway, that was, a no-brainer because that's where we are and here in our hometown. The other 2, the Phoenix opportunity was a function of that's really what was just the best other option we had in marketing as well as the Homestead.
Let's go to Bob.
Bob Puckers, ESPN. One for Jeff and one for Richard. First for Jeff, did you talk to other teams, and was there something particular about the Petty team that you liked?
We talk to every team. Yes, and they're particularly about Richard Petty. I mean, you've got the king here, and Bubba Wallace, who's coming on, and we think there's a lot of talent there. We checked him out significantly, and that's why we picked this team. But we went through them all and did a great deal of due diligence to figure out where to go.
And for Richard, I know this is kind of a repeat, but the release says the 43 car. When will you let us know whether it's a Ford, a Chevy, or a Toyota?
I'll let you know when I find out.
Let's go to Jerry, and then we'll wrap up with Chris before qualifying starts here.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net, Performance Racing Network. Richard, right here,
Right
in the middle. Regarding your other sponsors, the announcement that came out earlier this week with Smithfield, can you elaborate on what their involvement will be with your organization next year?
Is that my question?
Mm-hmm. That's you.
Yeah, we're going to be involved with Smithfield next year. The deal being that we're going to be in a different area with them. I think they're going to use us more with corporations and stuff like that, that people that's already in business where they sell mass things, not just to the grocery stores. So it's going to be interesting really to see what they come up with. And right now it's working real good for both sides, and it's been a good relationship for 6 years. And they wanted to continue it, we wanted to continue it, and right now this is the way we're going to do it.
So possibly like a Waffle House or something like that, a B2B sponsorship?
Yeah, I think, really, I don't know if they got their whole deal together yet. They just told us that, look, you stand over there, we'll call you and tell you what we want you to do. And we said, okay, we're right here. So I think they've got ideas and stuff, but they'll go out and start talking to a lot of these big companies that really use truckloads of this stuff. And so, we're still eating bacon, so we're doing good.
Go ahead, Chris.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Jeff, the release says at least 3 races for 2018. What's the potential that could increase to a more predominant role for RPM next year?
We hope we can expand it. We're going to see how things play out this year. Looking forward to this year, and we hope this is just the beginning of a long-term relationship.
Very good. With that, we want to certainly welcome you to the family, Jeff, and your team that's here with you. For those of you with cameras, they're going to do an unveil, the paint scheme out in Victory Lane. You're welcome to join for that. Appreciate everyone being here today, and best of luck this weekend.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you all. We appreciate you coming, okay?